Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good night. I don't know at what time you are listening to us, but any time is perfect to start empowering your health again with us in cultivate your health, your mindset, your everything that is around you and the consciousness. And today we are going to talk about the episode 3 of the hackers of your attention, social media. So it's a very deep topic, it's a very trending topic, and we are going to discuss all of the benefits that we can take from social media as well as the negative circumstances that we are being around them. So here with me is Mia. So how are you today, Mia?
Hi, David. Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
Well, too. I'm inspired by the topic because it's something that I think that many people, mostly the young ones, need to know what they are getting into. No.
Right.
So to begin with this topic, we are going to start discussing the biology of these terms, of these uh, the design of the technology that they are doing and how they are measuring everything that we do in our lives. So social media was developed with something that we are being triggered in our brains, which is the dopamine function of releasing dopamine, the one that is the addictive for many things. So when we are either addicted to food, either addicted to alcohol or to any kind of substance or even to people, we release a high amount of dopamine. And that was the major like design feature that the social media took advantage of. So when we have these likes, these icons, these reactions that we get from social media, that's the function that is the reward system. So we are just being trained to demand or to want more likes, acceptance, or any kind of these emoticons or actions that the social media is designed for. So the more we are interacting or showing our lives, we are being triggered by those kind of things. And we are also generating anxiety when we don't have it. So what are we looking for in social media? Why do we have to um, show everything in our lives to social media? What is the reason? What do you think is uh, luring people, Mia, to do that?
Well, I I truly believe that is the new drug. The same way as people is addicted to street drugs or medication or any kind of drug. This is the new drug because people can't stop. Sometimes they need help because the amount of time spending like scrolling up and down in the social media or just like surfing in the website in the internet, any social media, it's a new drug because people don't understand how this affect their brains. And I think that the major problem here is that acceptance from the outside. Once again, I think that we mentioned this before, like the feel acceptance from the outside world and creating this false identity
Yes.
that sometimes we follow people that we think that they have the perfect life and they are not perfect and they don't have a perfect life. And I just, once again, I truly believe that that is the main issue is acceptance. And people behind the social media and people behind the internet and people behind Google and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, they know that. So they are working with our brains, thinking about that people needs to feel accepted from the outside world. Like, make them believe this, that they have been accepted for many people just by clicking here, like, and they're gonna feel like accepted. They're gonna feel
Popular.
Popular. They're gonna feel
Influence.
beautiful. They're gonna feel like. But the same thing. Let's just change the side of the coin. And the side of the coin is like when you don't feel this acceptance from the outside world, especially in teenagers, like people feel depressed.
Yes.
And the amount of ratings about people feeling depressed, teenagers feeling depressed, because there's a lot of trolls, negative people, negative comments. There's bullying in the social media, and teenagers that they are very vulnerable of being accepted, they believe in all these comments, and it leads to a big problem, sometimes like suicide.
Yes.
So this is not just a trendy topic. It is more like, let's do something about it. Let's be more conscious about like how many hours we're going to spend on Facebook or Instagram, because it's horrible. It's terrible. Like, we spend like hours and hours and hours in front of the cell phone, just scrolling up and down, when you can be with your family, spending time with your family. You can be reading a book. You can do maybe doing homework, maybe cooking, spending time outside. So there's a lot of issues going on, not just only the acceptance, but like a lot of health concerns, because people don't go outside. And when they go outside, they are just like scrolling up and down, and they don't even think about, they don't pay attention what's going on outside in their environment. And I mean, it's a big issue, because it all your attention is in one screen.
Yes.
So it's very dangerous as well.
I completely agree with that, because it is not just something that we can see as a tool. Now is a threat, a health threat, and the statistics of diseases are amazing. They measure that, they have the data available. In fact, I'm going to recommend and I'm going to encourage you so that you can watch a documentary in Netflix that is The Social Dilemma. That's where we are going to discuss the statistics, and those are the real statistics. We check them out, and we saw that the peaks of the graphics that they show in that documentary, they are real. The suicide rates, the anxiety, depression, all of those diseases that are the ones that are nowadays the most impactful in our lives, are the ones that we should be concerned about. And those kind of diseases are mental diseases, and they are triggered by our perception, by imbuing our senses, as you mentioned, that we are always being driven to what they want, because they are just throwing the things, throwing the news, making the algorithms. And how do they make these algorithms so that you can understand the things that are behind this? And these are things that the vice presidents and the people that work inside of these companies spoke about. So those are real things. They even were ashamed of the kind of bias that the social media is taking now, because they never wanted to design those tools to damage people. So when they start damaging the health of people and killing people, that's when they stop and they said, I didn't sign for this. I was not hired to do this, to drive people to suicide or to drive people to depression or to anxiety. And that's what all of these tools are doing. And that's what we also discussed in many of the episodes before, that if you are watching news, if you are watching your social media feeds, you are being um, given a sample or a meal of negative emotions. So all of those negative emotions that you are consuming with your eyes, and then you are creating a dialogue inside of you, now they are your emotions. So now you feel connected with that. That's the connection that they make. And that's why you start creating those negative narratives in the comments or discussion that are just mindless. They are not important. They are generated by these kind of people. And once you are in those states, that's when they throw you an offer of some kind of product that they also are sponsoring. Many of the pharmaceutical industries or many of the companies that want to sell you things, they are pitching money for those ads, and they are giving money for that because they really know how are you going to feel. They know you better than you, because you don't even know how to express sometimes the emotions that you are feeling. You just have like 3 or 4 words to define how you feel, which is sad, happy, um,
Angry.
angry. That's it. That's the whole range of emotions that many people know. Those kind of emotions are the most common. Those kinds of emotions are the ones that are easier to detect. But if you keep asking more questions, you will find out that there are many layers. And once you identify those layers, you will be able to go to the root of the emotion, which probably wasn't even the thing that triggered you. So that's the idea of knowing ourselves. And as Mia was suggesting, it's much better to spend time knowing you, knowing how everything is affecting you, the weather, the the environment that you are in contact with, in terms of the social influence, not in the media, but in the people that you surround with, and also the kind of discussions that you have. Because if you have a problem and you start talking about that problem too much with too many people, how do you think you are going to feel? You are just promoting the kind of emotions. If you don't take action, if you don't see the things from a perspective view, it's going to be difficult to identify the kind of things that you need to work on. And instead of that, you are going to keep making circles in the emotions that you have until you get to the place that you are the victim and everyone else is against you. No?
And one of the other issues that I noticed is one of the ways that I always talk to my clients about freedom, how you can develop freedom. And I'm not talking about just like open the door and go run away from everything and everybody. Do you really want to be free? Stop comparing yourself with everybody else. Don't compare yourself with your friend, with your neighbor. And now all these social media, there's a lot of like pictures and lives, families, and we start comparing ourselves with those people, those families, and we are not free. It's a big problem that we compare ourselves with people that probably doesn't even exist.
Mhm.
They are just making up a life. They are just making up a picture. They are just making a perfect picture so you can hit like, and but you don't know what is behind all that. The big companies like Facebook, Instagram, Google, Pinterest, they are companies, just like David mentioned before, they are companies that they are making money. That is the main reason, making money out of your likes, out of your, every time that you hit like in any shoes, dresses, sport products, books, they create a dummy about your likes, and they bombard your Facebook, your Instagram, your Google account with all those ads. So you can keep like hitting like and buying things online, because there's a lot of money behind all that. Behind your likes, there's a lot of money for people like the president, vice president of Google, Pinterest, you name it, any social media. So that's why it's very important that you can, if you have a little time and opportunity, just watch the social dilemma. Is on Netflix, so you can understand a little bit more about what's going on in the social media. But here, once again, there's no guilty. There's no the main reason of all this is not like to make uh, people to feel guilty about it.
No.
Is not about like pointing out the finger to a person or a company, because you are responsible for your own actions. So just keep in mind, every time you have the information, you have many options to figure it out, what is going on behind all this. Every time that I hit like, or every time that I just Google something, there's a reason behind the big companies making a lot of money out of that.
Yeah.
So, but the companies are not responsible for that. The companies are just making their job. The only person who is responsible for the amount of time spending on social media is yourself. So just a little advice is, just on a piece of paper, grab a pen, grab a pencil, and just start tracking down. Okay, I spend 4 hours in Facebook. Okay, what about if tomorrow, instead of like 4 hours, 3 hours? And the next day, instead of like 3 hours, 2 hours. And just make yourself a goal by writing down, and just say, okay, on the week, I'm just going to spend like 10 hours.
Yeah.
And every time that you open Facebook or Instagram or something, try to just not like because you are killing time. It's because try to read something that is going to help you. Or try to, I don't know, find a recipe, a healthy recipe, so you can cook at home. So use the social media in a positive way, not in a negative way. And just tracking down your time is going to help you, because the big companies like Facebook, Instagram, it's not their fault.
Yes.
It's
And
not their fault. They are doing their job, just like all of us going to work and everything. They have a purpose and they have a goal, and their goal is making money, just like all of us. But we need to be more conscious about that.
yes, it's raising the awareness that we have the control, and we need to take back the control of our lives in the terms of timing, of measuring the things, of being more disciplined with your life and being more responsible of your life, being more in the driving seat and not being in the pilot seat or in the victim. Because once you put in that place that was probably provoked by the amount of time that you spend in those things, is where you lose everything. We have three major regions of our brain that are being controlled. And those are the primitive brain and the limbic brain. So those kind of regions of our brain are the most um, easy to access by these kind of tools. So if you don't know them, if you don't know yourself, that the primitive brain is just going to give you the reactions, is just going to put you in the reactive mode, is just going to allow you to perform the basic functions, you are going to give in the things that they are provoking in you. So you are going to blame, you are going to feel guilty probably, and you're not going to be able to react in a different way, or to, instead of react, to being conscious, to stop the time and to start thinking about, why am I feeling like this, asking more questions about your state, your emotional state, because the emotions are signals that we need to pick up whenever we feel something. And we start feeling, probably because right now it's cloudy or it's raining, I am start to feeling sad. Well, just be aware of that, so that you can start doing things to make you happy, to raise the vibrations, not reacting to the weather, looking for things to get more depressed, like songs to be depressed, or like movies to be depressed, or like feeding into the social media to get more depressed. So those are the signals, and the way to interpret the signals is to know where you are standing, and where you want to go. I'm in here, point A, I want to arrive to point B. So what do I have to do in order to arrive to this point? That's the idea, to move in a higher scale of vibrations, not into a lower scale of vibrations. Because perception is the one thing that no one can access unless you give them the key. And the key to your perception is your attention. So the more you are in the attention of negative things, or things that are going to drive you somewhere else where you don't want to go, that's the moment where you lose the perception. And the perception is not yours, it's from them. So instead of using those tools for the negative aspects, we can use them to the positive. And one of the positives is measuring the time that you spend there. One of the positive is, as Mia suggested, looking for information that is going to empower yourself, because those platforms are helpful if you know how to use them, if you know how to look for the information, if you know, are more proactive in looking for the people that are going to give you tools. That's what they are made for, if you want them to be. You can, by clicking in the things that are positive and they have empowering content, fill your wall or your algorithms for those kind of things. That's the idea. The algorithms work for you, not you for them. Because if you work for them, you will start clicking like whatever it is, and they are going to send you a lot of things that they are just random, or they are just news, or they are just toxic information, because you click on them. Even if you want to share something, and be very careful, because those are the things that they are tracking. So if, let's say that you have a negative news, a negative political news, or of the disease news, whatever it is, and because you hate it so much, or because you develop an emotion towards that news, you can click on that, or you can even share that information. Once you do those actions, that information is going to lead to many more information of that kind of quality. So the more you click on negatives, the more you are feeding the algorithm for negative. The more you share negative information, the more you are going to inundate your life, your social media life, of negative information. It is the same in real life. If you are feeling sad and you are doing things to contribute to the sadness, like eating sugar, like not exercising, like watching toxic things, then you are feeding that kind of vibration and you are creating a cycle. Once you start in that cycle, you create depression, anxiety, and many more things that can develop from that. So the idea is not to get in those cycles because you are the one that generate them. You are the one that is feeding information, not the other way around. You are not controlled by any of those platforms. You are able to take those tools as things that are going to make your life simpler or faster for certain things that you need. So that's it. That's the purpose, no?
And also, it is dangerous because we don't know who is behind the screen. So we spend a lot of time scrolling up and down the screen, and they are watching us 24/7. And sometimes we go to the bathroom, some of us with the cell phone, scrolling up and down in the bathroom, and they are watching us. They are watching us 24/7. So be careful, and be careful if your son or your daughter, they are using cell phones and they go to the bathroom or they're going to change their clothes or something. Be aware of we're being watched 24/7. So this is not just about the
Create.
likes, the likes or dislikes.
Mhm.
It's about be careful. Be careful because there's people behind your cell phone. They are listening to us. Many times I've been like talking about, I'm gonna give you an example. I was talking to you and we were talking friends. I'm gonna give you an example. I was talking with David, I think it was Friday night or something like that. So we were talking about the new iPhone 12 or something. I'm not big on fan of like cell phones. I like cell phones, but I'm not like into cell phones and technology and all that. To me, my cell phone is like, if I can make some phone calls or some text messages, that's fine. But I know that people likes technology. So we were talking about the iPhone 12. So I said, well, I don't know exactly what is the difference of between like iPhone 12 and iPhone 11, and there's 11 Pro, 11 ABC, 11, I don't know. So there's a lot of iPhones. So we were talking about the iPhones. And then the next day, Saturday morning, in my Facebook account, Instagram account, Google account, the ads that I was receiving, it was the new iPhone 12 and the color that David told me that he likes. So I was like,
Surprise.
what? We're just talking about cell phones and everything. And then just like suddenly I started receiving all these ads about the new iPhone 12 and the color that David was telling me. I mean,
That is not synchronicity, by the way. That is not the universe. That is not the universe sending you messages that you should buy
No,
a new iPhone. So those
no.
are the marketing. Those are the marketing people that are behind. And that, as Mia is saying, they are listening to everything that you are saying and they know your emotions. So that's why once you click one thing, it will lead to the next, to the next, to the next, and it will inundate you to the point where you are going to buy the thing. You are going to do it because they are driving your emotions. But you can stop that by not clicking, by not engaging. And that doesn't mean that you don't see anything or you don't talk about anything or you get paranoid. It's not about that. It's just about being realistic and being objective of the things. You can speak about whatever you want, just be careful because probably the next day the things that you spoke about, they will appear in many of your platforms.
Yeah, sometimes you say, I want to change the chairs, or I want a new dining room set or living room set. And suddenly you just start receiving all these ads from like furniture stores. And so it's like, how they know that I need to change my living room? Yeah, it's like, that is not the universe talking to you, and pay attention to the messages saying like, okay, it's time to change your furniture. No, it's the Facebook people and Instagram people that they are making money out of your likes and what you are saying, what you want.
Exactly. So it's just about knowing also what they do. As much as you need to know how you react, how you are built from your brain, your body, your emotions, your food choices, everything that you have inside of you. It is also about knowing what do they do and understanding without going in too much detail to the basic things that you need to know, such as this kind of algorithms. Many of the times, also, the kind of information that we want to share, the healthy information, the productive information, is being blocked and is being um, stopped by those kind of algorithms because they know that that information is the one that will help people to wake up. So just keep doing it. If you are the kind of person that wants to change the mindset and to change the outlook of social media with positive information, keep doing it. Don't measure the things. Don't measure the things if they don't have too much reach or they are not expansive as other things. Don't don't be in view in what they want you to be. That is discouragement also, and taking your motivation down so that you stop doing what you feel that you want to contribute to society, because that's also a strategy. When you are such as ourselves, you are dedicating your life to helping people in the health area, and you start promoting information and giving information, and you don't see that the information is moving because it is being blocked by those algorithms, it is a normal reaction to get discouraged because you don't see the um, the trending information. You don't see the expansion, but it is not you. It is them that they are controlling the information and even sometimes taking it out. And that includes people from groups that they also start making comments and taking things personal. And what do? They provoke a discussion and they create negative energy and they take out the information that you wanted to share just because the group was specific for something. So the idea is that you contribute as much as you can, don't get discouraged. Things are going to get out in the proper people. And if you help one person with the information that you share about health, it is a winning. It is a winning situation. It is something that you need to feel good about because you are helping one out of many that are not even aware of that information. And that one probably will do the action of sharing the information. And then you create the kind of things that we want to move on. I believe and I hope that we can start creating a different kind of social media from these kind of people that now have the wisdom and the knowledge of creating those kind of apps and strategies. Probably not in a long time they are going to create a competitor for Facebook or for Instagram that is going to create just positive information. It is not going to be accepted negative people. That's my dream. That's my dream. And that's the thing that I want to share. So if any kind of technology guy is listening to this, do it because we need that. We need those kind of apps. We need those kinds of platforms. We need platforms to create social, healthy content, just exclusively of that. So that's the idea, no? To start turning the point, to start seeing the different kind of the coin.
We live in a laziness state. We have been bombarded by fast food, fast internet, fast everything. Everything is fast. So we are in a state of laziness. We don't have patience to wait because everything is fast internet. Oh, we are not even like, we don't have patience with the internet. If the internet it's circling around and thinking, we are like, oh, I'm gonna call the cable company, this is not gonna work. I mean, we don't have any patience. So the same thing with Facebook, Instagram. Every time that you open something and you sign up for something, they send you a lot of terms and conditions that we don't read, and we just click accept. And in those terms and conditions, they are saying we can share your information. Every time that you post a picture, every time that you post something, is not longer private.
Yeah.
It's there, it's in the cloud, it's out of for everybody.
It's in the digital universe.
Right. And we, by clicking accept, is that we accepting that, like, yeah, sure, but we don't read because we don't have time to read, because we don't have patience to read.
Yeah.
If we really pay attention and read carefully every single word, probably this issue wouldn't be now out of control. Because even in this the social media dilemma show on Netflix, they say it's out of control and we don't know how to control it. We don't know what to do. It's out of control.
Yeah. And
so is there, like, every time that we open an account, every time that we create an account in any social media or anything, and they send us like all these terms and conditions, and we just click accept, 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 yes, 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 yes. We're done. We're done. And we don't even know. And then we try to say, like, hey, why my picture is somewhere in the cloud? Because you accepted. And we don't read, because we read in this laziness state. Like, everything is fast food, fast internet, fast washer and dryer, faster washing machine, fast, everything is fast. And we don't have patience. Like, faster Wi-Fi, no? And when we try to connect to the faster Wi-Fi,
and that's very a very good lead, so that we can speak also about the things that are changing in ourselves and the way we understand information. I am a teacher, and I have students that are now watching too much screen time, too much social media content. And I have seen, when I apply an exam, that they don't understand the questions. And why do they don't understand the questions if they are very clear? Because they don't know how to read. They are losing the ability to read something simple. Even people in interactions, when you start speaking, you can notice what type of people you are speaking with just by looking at the reactions when you ask questions. When you need to repeat a question for a person more than 3 times, that means that that person is watching too much social media. As easy as that. As easy as that. If you have a friend, or if you have a person in your life that is doing that, is because of the amount of they are spending in those kind of situations. That your brain is losing capacity, losing neurons, so that you don't understand clearer. So instead of developing more capacity and accessing the neuroplasticity of your brain, you are losing the plasticity of your brain because the neurons, the synapses, the pathways of your brain, instead of being expanded because you are imbuing more positive content and content that is new and content that is going to make your brain think, you are just watching things that are like a monkey asking for food. So your brain doesn't need pathways. To do that, you can just click and that's it. That's what you are learning to do. Clicking into the conditions and accepting, as Mia mentioned. So by not reading the things, you also create discussions. And I also saw an example of that just this morning. One of the persons that was supporting a very beneficial cause for people was just exposing her idea, and she was being criticized because people didn't even read and they just interpret the negative word. So they pick the negative word and that's it. They don't read the whole content. They are not even able to understand and to assemble one paragraph that has, I don't know, probably 10 words or 15 words. That is surprisingly amazing. And that speaks of the quality of the brain that that kind of person has. I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just saying that we need to be more intelligent in the way we respond and read again. If you don't understand something, just read it again so that you can train your pathways and so you can expand the information. It's like when you are going in your car and you just follow the maps. If you are always following the maps and the instructions, your brain is not accessing to the navigational capacity that it has. And if you use the same road always, every time, your brain is not using that capacity of spatial awareness. Instead, you can try different roads just for fun. Take out more time and just go in another road, in another path, in another freeway. And that's it. And try not to use the map always. Probably use it when you don't know how to get there, but try to remember the things, try to look for the details, try to access different kind of information and make your senses more intelligent. That's the idea that we can start growing our brains and not losing our brain capacity. Because if we keep in this road, believe me, next year is going to be challenging for many of the people that didn't have time throughout this year to know themselves. This year was given as a free year for you. It was a free year. Many of us had a lot of time, at least for 2 or 3 months, you have time to invest in yourself, to know yourself. If you didn't do anything and you were just reacting to the news or to the media, probably next year is going to be challenging. But if you still have time, we are in October, we still have 2 months and a half to invest time in us to prepare for the next year because it's going to be challenging, not difficult, challenging. That's the idea, to start preparing for the things that we are going to encounter in the future, to start accessing the vision, the imagination, the curiosity, all of those things that you had when you were a kid. when you were a children, no?
This is a year of open yourself to a new consciousness. Be conscious about what's going on in the world and ask yourself questions about, like, who is behind all this, who, why, what is the main purpose of all this person. And like we said before, it's not about to make you feel guilty about the things that you are doing. Is to help you and be proactive by telling you, it's like a drug. Probably it's going to be really difficult for you to stop spending time on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. It's just the quality of time, not the quantity of time. If you just like scrolling up and down with no reason and no purpose, or just saying negative comments or paying attention to the negative, so you are going to be believing in all these negative thoughts, and your brain is going to understand only negative things
And attract only negative.
and attract negative things, and you will be attracting to negative people around you, negative situations. Everything is going to be negative. So the quality of time that you spend on Facebook, Instagram, any social media, just try to use them for a positive thing in your life to help yourself. Maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours. If you are working on social media and you need the social media to work, that's a different story. But even if it's a different story and it's part of your business, just keep in mind about the quality of time. Just say, okay, it's going to be 2 hours. Just set up an alarm and say 2 hours. As soon as the alarm, don't try to snooze the alarm like 5 times. Just say, okay, the alarm is going off. So it's time to spend time with my family. It's time to do something else. It's time to open a book and start reading a book. Read a book. Because we don't read. We don't longer read. So read a book, cook something, walk outside, spend time in nature, pay attention to your pets. Sometimes we have animals and we don't even pay attention to our pets. We feed the pets and that's it. But our pets, they need quality of time as well. So we are leaving all these beautiful things behind for something that is not going to give you anything. It's not going to give us like anything.
The investment is not returning anything. That's the idea. And
The time that you are investing in the social media, it is not worth it.
exactly. And to round up this kind of topic and to give you the final thoughts about the health issues, the blue light that these kind of screens throw at you, throw to your eyes, start changing the profiles of your melatonin levels, which are it is the hormone that dictates how are you going to sleep and regulates the release also of serotonin, which is the happiness hormone, one of the happiness hormones. So the idea is that you also have the knowledge that these kinds of screens, computers, tablets, phones, they have a blue light, and that blue light is penetrating in your eyes and is penetrating even, and there is research of that, in the fat tissue. It is being changing the profile of your hormones. That's why there are also chronic diseases such as diabetes, obesity, and a lot of patterns, disrupted patterns of sleep, because people are watching the screens in the hours arriving to their bedtime. So one last piece of information is don't watch your screens at least 1 hour before you go to sleep. If you can 2 hours before, that's even better. But if you can one hour at least, don't watch them. Don't watch anything that is digital and that has blue light, because those kind of energies and UV or blue light is going to disrupt your patterns in your hormones and in your sleep. Try it. Don't believe me. Do it and see how you sleep and how you feel the next day. And you will see the result of that. And that was the idea of speaking about these kind of social platforms, just to raise the awareness, just to know that we have the control, and just to know to be more careful of the things that we are doing with these kind of platforms. Any
Just
kind
try
of
to,
final thought?
yeah, like I said, we're trying to be proactive here, and just try to conquer your brain. When your brain is leading you to Facebook or social media, just conquer your brain and make sure about what you want. Write down your goals. Remember quality of time, not quantity of time, because it's not gonna lead you to anything.
Exactly.
So just try to track down, write down how many hours you spend. Actually, there's a lot of application apps about, like, the application tells you how many hours you spend a day in the social media. If you don't have that app, piece of paper, pen, just write down
Yes.
and just say from 5 to 6, 1 hour, or from 5 to 7, I'm gonna check out what's going on in the world. I'm gonna check out what's going on in my social media and my social account, and that's it.
Yes. Set alarm, and that's it. That's the
Yeah,
that's the easiest way to track your time and to be healthy with your time.
yeah. Be smart. Be smart with your time. Be smart. Help yourself. Remember, the main thing here is to help you to be the doctor. Maybe you have like sleeping patterns issues and you don't even know why. Probably it's the social media, the amount of time that you are spending in social media. Uh, just be proactive. Help yourself. Help your kids. I know that sometimes we are tired. We come home and we are tired from work and all that. And for us, it's very easy, just like for to let our kids to play in the video games, to spend time in front of the screen. But just think about, if it's dangerous for us as an adults, can you imagine for children, for small kids, spending time behind a screen
Yeah.
when they've been watching us and listening to us? So we need to be more aware about what's going on in the real world, because the real world is not just about like. There's more behind all that. There's more behind your likes.
It is just going to the basic things. It is not that difficult. It is becoming more intelligent that the digital things and taking action. That's it.
The
That's what
new
we want from you. No?
Right, the new generation, the young generation, they don't see a cell phone as a communication tool. They see the new cell phone with the new apps, video games to play. It's like a video game, mobile video game. No, they go to the restaurant, they go in the car, like field trips, whatever, and they are using the cell phone. They don't even use the cell phone to communicate with other people. They use cell phones for social media and play video games. That is the new generation, the way that they see cell phones. It's
Yes.
not a communication tool for a young generation. They just see the cool apps, uh,
Entertainment.
exactly, movies, Netflix on your cell phone. I mean,
and it's too much entertainment, and it is not
Right.
always the positive one. So the idea is to also be aware of our children. Who is parenting your children? Social media, apps, video games, or you? That's just one
Wow.
question. It's just one question so that you can reflect. Who is parenting your child? The platforms, the gadgets, or you? That's it. I leave you with that. We leave you with that. Reflect on that. And we will give you also the hints so that you can keep reflecting until our next episode, which is going to be a surprise, but we're going to talk most likely about consciousness. So be prepared. Thank you very
Thank you,
much for
Dave.
your time. Thank you, Mia.
Thank you, David. Thank you, guys.
Have a wonderful day, night, afternoon. And please, if you like our content, do it, share it, because we are trying to help many more people if we reach them. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful time. Bye.